Welcome into another episode of the Film Room. I'm really excited to be joined today by Teonni Key and Clara Strack from over at the University of Kentucky. If you have somehow missed watching Kentucky play so far this year, they have been one of my favorite teams to watch in the country, playing pretty different from how a lot of other teams have been. But first and foremost, Teonni, Clara, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, good.
I did the ever classic
Good.
accidentally ask two people the same question at the same time. Tiani, I'll start with you, just kind of bouncing off this with how this year has gone so far. Um, as hit on early on, like you guys right now are leading the country. Well, as a quick thing to both of you, I don't know if you're aware, but currently in the SEC, there's only two players with 30 or more blocks on the season. That is both of you. You guys are both top 15 nationally in blocks per game. Kentucky as a team is just about at the top of the country. Tiani, starting with you, did you kind of have a feel of how good of a defensive team this could be prior to the year, or is that something that you guys have just kind of felt out as the season's gone on?
I think when we started coming together, like in the summer and stuff, and just getting together, obviously a lot of us are new. But when we first started getting together, like just seeing like our size and everything, and like just how everyone moves, I think that's when we kind of knew like we'd be good on like both ends of the ball, for
No,
sure.
absolutely. And then Clara, with you, obviously, I mean, just looking at how you've kind of centered some things playing the five mostly, having this kind of length around you, obviously, I mean, Amelia playing the three is like the biggest three in the SEC. What has that been like, just kind of having that kind of length on the court and the way you guys have been able to play off one another?
Yeah, I think it's really obviously good for us. I think having all three of us so long, I think it's really easy to like protect the paint and like two block shots and stuff like that. So I think that really helps our defense and like the way we can all like play together and come together. I think defense was a big focus for us in the off season. So I think the way we've been able to like really like just play with each other. I don't know another word for it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just to throw some more stats at you guys really quick. Um, at time of speaking, you guys are 10th in the country in 2-point defense, so teams only shoot 38%, slightly below against you guys. It's pretty good. And then on the opposite end, you guys are 6th in the country in 2-point field goal percentage, shooting almost 57% from the field. So just the sheer efficiency on both sides of the ball has been pretty wild to watch. Um, but I want to start again with you, Tiani, going back in terms of just like coming together as a team and finding this verve. I feel like when you really slow things down and watch the offense, there's a lot going on that you have to learn and adapt to. So for you coming in, getting this kind of opportunity and role, it feels like you've really taken it in stride. What has that been like, just kind of getting the feel for it and getting used to it?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think something that helped a lot was just the fact that we were all new and like the way the staff brought us in the summer, starting with like individual workouts and stuff like that. Just filling out like our skill set and who we are as players and then bringing it together and just the way things are run. Like, yeah, it's a lot to learn, but a lot of it's stuff that we have and that they've sharpened and helped us like grow and stuff like that. And we just play as ourselves and bounce off of one another. So I think it's been a lot to learn, but it's been all super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been the really fun part because I've seen you play since you were in AAU. So now getting to see like, yeah, dude, like we've known, okay, you can do this. You can shoot. You can really attack the basket, and really getting to see it play out on court again has been very fun. Um, Clara, for you, I think what's been really fun this season overall with you is your passing has like really popped, and we're gonna get into some of that as well. Particularly, I mean, you two together have linked up a ton on court. Um, I know, again, having seen you play for a while, you've had the passing in the bag, but it feels like you've hit a new level with that this year. What has that been like, kind of tapping into that and feeling that out more?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I think like being able to like throw a pass to a wide open teammate is just as like exciting and like watching them hit a three or like CT hit like a wide like a layup. I think that's as exciting as like doing it myself. I think it just shows like our chemistry and like the way we can play with each other. And I think obviously like that is like why we can be good passers because we know where each other are going to be and like they're always going to be in that spot ready. So.
Yeah, no, it totally shows in the way you guys are playing. And we're going to start off by going off of some of these passes. Um, Tiani, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you're like one of the top cutters in the country right now. So you're almost in like the top 10 percentile in the country in cutting efficiency per synergy. And a lot of that is from you guys playing off one another. So what we're going through, obviously, it's a conversation. If you want me to back it up at all, let me know. But just want to kind of go through what you guys are thinking, seeing, how you kind of play off some of this stuff. But starting right here. Um, so obviously Auburn was like they're very aggressive, playing one on one, trying to like open things up. So I think that's where you see a lot with this you getting into your cutting. So in terms of just like feeling this stuff out and seeing one another on court when you're facing a team that's playing this aggressively, what was kind of like the feeling out process during this game?
I think coming in, like we knew, like you said, they're a pretty aggressive team. So just like being able to set up our cups, like obviously running our sets and stuff like that is important. But just also like having reads out of it, I think that's a big thing we focus on. And yeah.
Yeah, no, the second that you get a step too far, it's easy to get going. And I think that's one of the things that's been really fun. Like you playing mostly at the four this year, I feel like you're really able to use your quickness to your advantage and take people off the bounce or even just get open on cutting. And then Clara, for you, like, when you're operating at the top of the key as often as you do, like getting to just kind of read a defense like this, see what's happening. What things are you looking for, and trying to get somebody open or see what's opening up?
I mean, like Tiani said, like we knew a lot of these teams like we've played so far have been like very aggressive and like trying to take things away. So I think knowing that, and Coach Brooks always like tells us like you have to be a basketball player. You can't just look for like what's going on in the play, like be a basketball player and make a play. So I think like knowing we have the freedom to do that is something that's really helpful too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that because I think so often when teams are like playing outside in, they can get like too busy looking and then can get, if you're not aggressive enough, then nothing happens, right? So like being able to keep making plays is so big. Going off here, I think one of the more common plays that you guys have really linked up on is, coming out of this like box set that you guys do often when you're getting into your court offense. Um, Obviously like a really great way to draw a double team, but like just finding this stuff. I mean, when did you guys first feel this one? Because I feel like you've hit this like 7, 8 times throughout the year already. So when did you guys kind of know you had this down pat as something you could get to?
This is something that like we do a lot in practice.
Yeah,
For sure, practicing when we'll do a position split and we'll work with the post. And I think this is one thing we really talk about is like if you see that double team, like just dive hard and like yell because you're gonna be wide open for that shot. So
absolutely. And Tiani, for you, I mean, just with timing stuff, what has it been like kind of finding that? Because I think it's easy to watch, like you do a really good job, but it's not always easy to kind of time those things out. So what's been big for you and just making yourself available so well?
I think it goes back to all that Clara said, just knowing that we have the freedom to like play basketball and just like go off of each other and like just things that we work on all the time really. Like building that chemistry. We've been doing it for a while now. So just just trusting each other and knowing like where will each other will be offensively and stuff like that.
100%. So what's been really fun too is getting to see how, as teams have gotten the scout out on you, seeing how you guys have adapted to that. Obviously right here, I think you guys have done a lot of playing, out of horns and then getting into stuff from that. And then here, this one, I love this play. It's one of my favorite ones. Especially like I know it's probably like a play that you're just used to making, Clara, but like there are not a lot of 6'5" bigs that can just drive and dish like that. So what is that again, like kind of getting into and feeling that out this year, especially in the SEC? What has that felt like and kind of getting into it?
Um, I mean, I did a lot of like in high school and stuff. I played a lot of guard, so I think that has helped me like really be able to do it. I don't know. I think you just, I don't really know,
You just
but
kind of do it. Yeah, it probably doesn't mean much to you,
yeah.
but like, Tiani, I'll ask you. I mean, you've played with a lot of different centers throughout your career. I feel like I would go out on a limb and saying like Clara is probably the only center you've played with that can like drive and dish like that. Um, so what has it been like to kind of find that partnership and work with another big that can do that in the front court?
Yeah, I think it's been great just being that she's just so versatile and like able to do like you said like drive, dish, shoot the three. Like it opens up a lot for everyone, not even just myself. So it's been amazing. It's been really fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then getting into your own passing as well. I think you've really started to excel, obviously doing high-low stuff. That obviously, I mean, you've had that in the bag, but the two of you working together. So just another quick stat. I've loaded up with stats today. You guys have assisted each other 19 times so far this year, which I think is like third or fourth on the team altogether. So a lot of baskets made up between you two, but especially like finding somebody in a high-low situation. Um, I know you're starting to keep stretching out to the three even more, Teonni, but like, making these passes and being able to get somebody open the way that you do. What's been most key in kind of unlocking that?
I think just like trusting that like obviously like Clara and then like whoever like is being passed to like that they're gonna catch it. They're holding their position and stuff like that just because we work on it so much and just being able to like read defenses and stuff like that. Like people throw a lot of like they try to throw different stuff at it. Some people double team off of the backside or like off the post, like different things like that. Just being able to read that defensively and then just things like we practice it every like basically every day. So just building that connection is has been something we've been working on for sure.
No, absolutely. Well, let's shift to the defensive side because I think that's where we see a lot of fun stuff with you guys. So right off here, I think like Mississippi State tried early to do a lot of stuff trying to like quote unquote drag rim protection out. But I think what's so fun about watching you guys, like you can't really take away rim protection because unless somehow both of you are on the other side of the court, there's always somebody there. Um, Again, especially like just being able to have that kind of length on the court and like when did you guys kind of first feel like in a game that like recognizing like what you could really do as a team with that?
I would think we probably recognized it pretty early on. I think maybe like even like our preseason like practices and stuff. I think just like seeing especially even with Amelia, like the way we can like all just block shots, the way we can all like use our length. I think it also helps that we're so versatile. Like all of us can like move and we can switch with each other, like we can do things like that. So I think we probably recognized that pretty early on and just have been able to like grow with it from there.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up switching because that's the next clip. I think like again, that's part of what makes it really special watching you guys. Like I know for you guys, you do it all the time, so it probably doesn't stand out, but like there are very few teams in the country that are comfortable switching their 4-5 like this. Um, and I wanted to ask, I mean, starting with you, Tiani, like just the communication, I think is really something that I wanted to ask about because I think so often people watch switching and they're like, oh, it's easy, like all you have to do is switch. But being able to actually stay in position, shut down a switch pocket, like not open something up, it's not easy. So like especially like again, like when you're taking on assignments like this, what has been most key in kind of unlocking some of that stuff?
I think like you said, communication, but I think also what comes with it is just like reps, like just knowing like the different types of switching, like who you're switching on to, and then like what like how that angle and stuff is going to be and like just knowing the personnel on the other team, just knowing like how you're going to guard them and just I think communicating through it like before the game, like for shoot around, all this stuff, like the amount of things like we times we talk about it and then just with the reps just knowing like knowing the other person you're switching with, like knowing Clara and like has your back, like I think that's huge too because like it's not perfect all the time and but just because of our size and our length and stuff like that and our quickness athleticism it helps a lot just knowing like we are very similar and other teams aren't really used to that so it kind of throws them off too so it's really helpful just knowing we have each other's back and like being able to communicate through it is just it's extremely helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been really fun because I think there was a ton of before the season. Oh, like, can everybody in Kentucky's going to have to get used to the SEC. And I think there's also an element of, well, the SEC has to get used to how Kentucky's going to play. And that's been really dope to watch play out. Moving into, I think one of the things that's been really fun is what you guys can do playing in zone, particularly obviously, when Clara Silva plays in the game too, like you guys just can completely alter a court. Um, but just Clara, for you, I mean, feeling things out, like kind of, I mean, obviously everybody's communicating for sure, but especially when you're at the five, like so much of your job is to make sure that you're calling things out, seeing things. Um, what has that been like, kind of figuring out what this zone defense can do, and how you guys kind of throw it out and are able to disrupt things with that?
Yeah, I think it goes back to like our chemistry and just like the way we're able to play for each other. I think like Tiana said, like if I have to go make a coverage over here, but my player's gonna be left wide open, like I trust that like whoever's behind me is gonna rotate over and help me. So I think that like with our communication and with our trust we have in each other and knowing that we're gonna try to have each other's back, I think that makes it a lot easier for like a lot of things, especially zone, because you don't really have a person. So everyone's just trying to like obviously match up like whoever's near them. But I think that's really important to be able to play for each other and like talk through that.
Definitely. And what's been cool too, I feel like I was really interested to see how it would turn out this year, just what the team was going to look like. Because I've obviously so many new faces, but like seeing, I mean, you guys are winning games off the back of the defense at times. You know, it took some time for the offense to gel early on. Like I think of the Louisville game when you guys were able to really grit that one out, you know, kind of playing a ton of just different mixed and match coverages and getting to that. So it's been cool to see that play out. Um, Again, going into some of the stuff with teams trying to pull away rim protection, I think what's been really cool to watch again in general, just even if you guys are out of the play, you're never really out of the play. I feel like there's just so much help all over the court. Um, Kind of instilling that, especially like, all right, if you are out on the perimeter or finding areas to be impactful, I don't know. Like it just in general, it feels like so often you two both end up at the rim in the same possession. So how do you kind of account for that? Being on the same page with that and also, just being in a position to make plays happen. I'll go with you, Tiani.
I think it just comes with like knowing like our team's principles defensively. Like it goes back to having each other's back, like playing together, moving as a unit. And like at the end of the day, the ball is the most threatening thing on the court. Like, you don't want that to go in for the other team. So just instinctually, like just going after it, especially at the end of a shot clock and stuff like that. Getting rebounds, whatever be a loose ball, like we just all have that like that knack to just like go get it. So it's kind of funny sometimes we'll run into each other, but it's all like, good because we're, hustling, going hard and stuff like that. So it's really fun playing like with somebody and like with a team like that because everybody, regardless of where like the other team is, somebody's there, like somebody they're going to run into somebody, whether it be Amelia, maybe somebody taking a charge, stuff like that. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, going right off that too, I think part of what's been really cool as well as like, one of you can be defending on the perimeter and then there's somebody containing at the rim too. And it's just like, again, it makes it so difficult to actually, yes, you might get into the paint, but actually scoring is good luck. So like finding that with, I mean, Clara, for you, like having somebody like, again, Tiani, who I think, again, versatility for both of you stands out, but particularly versatility, like defensively, being able to play out in the perimeter, play out in the post. Um, when you're able to work with somebody who can do that kind of stuff on the perimeter, but also be there on the backside for them, what has it been like kind of figuring that out? And also, again, like communicating to someone, noticing like, all right, I can be here, I can be in this spot. What has that been like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all like is still just going back to like the way we're able to trust each other. Like obviously we're still growing in that aspect. I think like each
Hmm.
game we're getting better at that. Coach Brooks talks a lot about how our defense isn't going to be perfect or isn't going to be like what it can be unless we're all on the same page because we're not all able to like probably play defense one on one as much as we would be able to play like as a unit. So I think like us all moving together like that and then just trusting each other, like I think it's really cool the way that like me and me like Tiani, we can all switch out onto the perimeter like we talked about, like I'll be out there, but then like I know like if I'm out on the perimeter and I like get beat or something, I know Tiani or Amelia is gonna be there and like they're gonna be able to rim protect even though I'm like dragged out of the play.
Yeah, all for both of you on that too, because I really like what you mentioned in terms of like knowing that you have that behind you. How much does that kind of empower you to, like, obviously you don't want to put yourself in a tough position, but like to be more aggressive on the perimeter, right? Like having that kind of stuff behind you, being able to like go out and really play kind of more carefree on the perimeter.
Yeah, I think it definitely gives more confidence in that because a lot of times like I think I've been on teams like before, just like a lot of like post players probably like Teonni have been on a team at some point in their life where you're the only one who's really the able to rim protect, like you're the only long one. So I think having like multiple of that is like really good because like I'm not concerned when I'm dragged out. Like I know like someone's gonna have my back in there.
Yeah, and then for you, Tiani?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say exactly the same as her. Like it just gives a lot of confidence. And it's something we're still growing at and it's getting better each day. So it's really unique because it isn't like I haven't played with any other bigs really who or three like who is able to like, still rim protect if I get beat, stuff like that. So it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different to watch, and cool to kind of see. And then just to close out too, again, like I think, watching you guys get to, I think this technically should be credited to both of you, I believe. I think you both get a hand on the ball. So we love when things like that get to play out. But regardless, that's the last clip I had. I just want to say I appreciate your guys' time. It's been obviously a pleasure watching you both play. To close out, I mean, just in terms of what you guys have built on the court so far, what you're looking to do the rest of the season and moving forward. Clara, I'll start with you. What are you most excited about, as you guys get deeper into SEC play?
Yeah, I think I'm just excited to like see how our team is gonna grow and I think see how we're gonna like use our game so far to like get into like obviously farther into this SEC play. I think we've improved every game, like I think I've said that already, but I think it's really special to see how we're growing together, being like a team of such new players, and I think it's going to be really exciting to continue to learn each other and play off each other as we go.
Definitely. And then Tiani, for you.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing as her. Just continue to get better as we go through this SEC play and just learning each other more offensively, defensively. I think it's all coming together, and there's a lot that still can come together. Just some fine tuning things, but it's all going to be really exciting and looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, pretty good to be 15-1 and still figuring things out. Can't complain about that. Again, to everyone watching, be sure to keep up with all things Kentucky women's basketball and enjoy the rest of your day.